Okay, guys, this is our take two this morning, a Monday morning little gremlins cropping in there of the 21-day no bread, no sugar challenge conversation. So I'm Wayne, the founder of Fit Chef, and this is Monique in the studio. So Monique, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I am a dietitian. I practice in Joburg, and I have the great pleasure of also consulting with Fit Chef on a lot of their nutrition-related matters.
Loads of things, yeah.
Yeah, so nice to come and chat in about this challenge today.
We've loved having your energy around. It's been awesome. Okay, so cool, guys. On to the 21-day no bread, no sugar challenge. Why does this challenge exist? This is probably the fourth time we've done it now, and it's been super successful. I think, why would you want to join the 21-day challenge? So basically, as you know, you've had a gluttonous, overbearing December. We've just carried on eating, and there seems to be no stop valve in that stomach that seems to work any longer. So you need to sort of reset that seesaw of life and get back to a good homeostasis where it says, look guys, let's eat properly. Let's dump the things that are causing most of the problems. And we all know that the quality of our carbs and the quality of our sugars is one of the main areas where we sort of all mess up on our food.
Absolutely. It's a lot about quality and not just quantity.
Yeah, it's crucial. I think the big message to get across is quality. Now, we're really big into moderation at Fit Chef, and I think for longevity and living for a long time and enjoying your diet and actually having a long-term successful diet, you need a sort of moderate approach, because how are you going to fit in things like social events and parties, just days when you've had sort of bad days, and just life happens basically. But I think the good thing is, always come back to that quality. In the sense here, a 21-day no bread, no sugar challenge is really saying this here. Let's actually create a season in our life where let's dump the junk. So dump the added sugar. Now, this specifically is about added sugar. We're not saying that sugar is specifically bad. I mean, there is actually sugar in everything. And when you look at labels, and we will go through some labels quite soon, you will see that labels always have sugar in them. I mean, there's sugar in almost every single product out there, apart from very few. But we're saying stop the added sugar and stop the highly refined carbs, like your breads. I mean, there are good versions of breads out there. I do believe in sourdoughs and other things.
Your high fiber breads.
Your high fiber breads. Fiber is a crucial thing. But you want to get to dump the junk for now. I think let's just draw a line in the sand and say, stop the added sugar for 21 days. You can go longer if you want to. Stop the bread. Just get back to good food. Because when you remove the junk from your life, it sort of opens up that gap in your life just to get back to good quality food. So it's your vegetables. So it's getting back to good vegetables. It's getting back to real whole foods, meats if you do them, and good quality veggies, fruits, and all those natural things that come from nature directly.
No, it's exactly what I see in practice. I think what happens is as soon as we eat too much of a certain food, it displaces other foods. So when, as an example, a slice of white bread toast comes every day into your diet for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner, you'd rather grab that than a fruit. That then displaces the highly nutritious fruits.
Yeah.
So I think that's what Wayne's trying to say, is that it brings balance back into what you're doing in terms of your diet.
Yeah, and this brings us actually to a very good point, is why do you eat food? I mean, people think okay, I eat food for macros, or your fats and your carbs and your proteins. It's actually there's more detail than that there. You're eating because of nutrients.
Absolutely.
Vitamins and minerals. I mean, flavonoids. You're looking at fiber, all the phytochemicals. I mean, so we must stop being so simplistic about food and saying, oh, it's just about my fats, proteins, whatever. We need to ask, where is the actual information or the nutrients coming from? And I think that's where, if you're eating real food, now real food, we are real food evangelists, really. If you eat real food that comes from as close to nature as possible, in its closest forms to nature, once again, obviously do the cooking and those kind of things there, but not highly refined stuff that's gone through chemical processes, but just get onto good quality food, you find just everything changes.
Absolutely. You sleep better, you have more energy, you lose weight, absolutely. Yeah. And of course, that's always the elixir of eating well, is losing weight, but there's so much more to it.
Yeah. I want to say, Jamie, welcome. And Jamie Erin Hutch. So we've got you asking about how many fruits can you have today and how many calories per day. So I think two things. Do you want to chat about fruits?
Sure. So if we look at fruits, remember, Jamie, this all depends on who you are, how active you are, male versus female. But generally, I'd say 2, absolutely max 3 fruits a day, which you include as part of your carbohydrate portions for the day. Fruits are highly nutritious. They're full of fiber. They're full of nutrients. And when we're talking about this concept of a no sugar challenge, we are referring to, as Wayne says, the added sugars, the sugar that we add to tea and coffee, not necessarily the sugar that we are going to have in fruit, which is a healthy fructose fruit sugar. In terms of how many calories per day, again, that varies so much, but a rough estimate is about 25 calories per kilo that you want to be at a goal weight. So if you want to be at 80 kilos, you would say 25 by 80, and that's a rough idea. But I would say speak to a dietitian and let her or him calculate it for you.
Yeah, I think sort of one of the important things here is, okay, so, I mean, like fruits or any of these things in life, as you said now, it's all about who you are. I think we're in the age of personalized science now, personalized nutrition. And like, I think it's a case where we should stop taking advice from just all friends and all doctors and all whatever else, or any one person. Find out where you are exactly, because through DNA reports, we're actually finding out things that, individuals, we know whether you're sensitive to carbs or sugars or saturated fats or unsaturated fats, whether you've got a type 2 diabetic gene potentially, and those things. Find out where you fit together. Not everyone is the same. And I mean, obviously, if you've got diabetes or you've got pre-diabetes, these fruits may not work for you. And you've got to sort of find, sweeter things, or less sweet things like berries. So I think sort of find out where you are, find out how it affects you, and become your own expert sometimes. Like sort of listen to your stomach, listen to sort of how you feel, like how's your focus doing, how's your clarity doing, how's your anxiety doing, how's your sleep doing. And once you find those out there, just adjust them and see, am I eating too many sugars, not enough fiber, but always go real. I think, we wouldn't have the problem in the world if we all ate real food.
No, absolutely.
And then back to sort of calories, and just to add to your point there, which is awesome, is that, calories, everything we do in life should be about quality. Now, you cannot compare, this is where I sort of get so irate about sort of like calorie discussions. You can't compare 100 grams or 100 calories of sugar, pure sugar, to 100 calories of say, green beans or vegetables.
Absolutely.
I mean, the nutrient density of the beans, and obviously, is much higher. There's fiber, it's slow release.
Yeah.
And then you've got the sugar. So calories, when we talk about calories on a channel like this here, it really is about quality calories. And where do they come from? It comes from nature, unprocessed, full forms, stuff you buy sort of in your, if you go to the shops, in your fresh food aisles. Actually, I think there's those things that are good in cans. Just read the labels, and we will go through labels quite soon. Read the ingredients. Where is my quality food coming from? Is it coming from added sugar? Is it artificial sugars? Is it from your seed oils, which I don't like because they're inflammatory? Is it coming from what processes? Is it chemicals, flavoring, colorants? Is it junk, or is it real food? Is the orange coming from the butternut or the carrot? Or is it coming from a flavoring that's just added that is actually nutrient?
No, what Wayne's saying is completely correct. We've moved on in nutritional science from a time of where a calorie was just, every calorie is the same. 1,500 calories of a very high fiber, nutrient-rich diet is very different to 1,500 calorie of a very refined carbohydrate diet. So you've got to actually consider the quality, absolutely.
And it's certainly, I think, there really is no doubt in the whole world, really, apart from people who do like arguing this point, that it certainly is your carbs and your sugars that mostly need to be controlled.
That's generally what we eat the most of.
Exactly, and when you replace them with other nutrient-dense foods, everything changes. And then from there, you obviously go onto more important sort of like small details. Which fats do I want to go for? Am I sensitive to saturated fats or unsaturated fats? Cutting out seed oils, and then just seeing where you actually are there. But I think like the standard thing, I think that every single good diet out there, every single good diet controls the quality of your food. And I think that's what we're trying to do here is saying cut out the junk and just put good stuff actually in. Make room for the good.
What Wayne's referring to is a new concept in nutrition and nutritional science called Nutrigenomics, where we look at the role of nutrition and how that influences and affects our genes. And that's what Wayne's saying is people are all different. What works for your uncle to lose 50 kilos might not work for you because you have different genetic makeup. And that's something you can look into. In South Africa, we've got a couple of companies that do these sort of DNA testings, and they're actually very, very cool and interesting.
We're actually selling DNA kits on our site now, so on FitChef. You can get the Moodoo kit. I personally believe this is the most advanced kit available. It does give you 300 reports, breaks down every single area within your diet, your lifestyle, your sleep patterns, and sort of kind of who you are. It's that missing manual. So have a look at our website for that there as well. I think as you say, it's crucial that you understand that you are individual and why you're individual, and how to make it flexible, or how to get your diet correct for who you are, for your body type, for your mental type, for where you are, sort of your potential sort of like health levels, your exercise levels, your routine. Can you cook on, there's so much that comes actually into it there, but it does, I think, sort of in any single diet, whether you want to go nowadays, whether you want to go, vegan, carnivore, keto, whatever sort of diet you want to go into, Mediterranean or whatever, you've still got to have some kind of strategy. Because strategy, if you lack strategy, your diets will always fail. Because unfortunately, in every single shop we've got nowadays, I mean, probably 90% of what we have in the shops is highly refined. The labels, I would say, are blatantly lying very often. You see the word organic on there, you think, oh, fantastic, that's a great product. And you go and read it, and the amount of added sugar, added chemical actually in there.
Well, sugar can be organic.
Sugar can be organic. I mean, it is actually. So you've got to watch out. Don't just be fooled by labels. Learn to read. So, Jamie, onto your question about sort of how do we read ingredient labels. Now, okay, so one thing I'm really, really, really proud of, and this has been, it's been really difficult to achieve, is that FitChef, we have the best quality ingredients in our foods. I would say, please read our ingredient lists. And we're so proud of our ingredient lists that we've actually printed them big. Like normally, so when you get to my age now, you buy anything out there in the shops, and I cannot see what is going on. Thank goodness you can photograph it nowadays and zoom in, and you can see what's going on the labels. But most companies are like sort of, well, they put ingredients the smallest, so you can't see what's going on. I think there's a number of reasons. One is because it's like they think it's not important. The other reason is actually sort of hiding what's actually in that food there. FitChef has a whole panel dedicated, and we physically state we are proud of our ingredients. You will not find a highly refined substance in here. We don't go and buy in these stock sauces, and we don't go and we use the old methods of cooking. If we're making a sauce, it's chucking a ton of vegetable, it's a huge amount of vegetable in there, cooking it up and reducing it and blending it, as opposed to sort of going the other method where you put in water, we put in sugar, we put in colorant, we put in flavorant, a little bit of vegetable, and a ton of starch. And starch flour. Now, flour has obviously got no nutrient density at all, really. It's just actually pure, it really is sugar. Flour is basically a refined sugar that just gets absorbed too quickly in your body, causes loads of sort of gluten issues with people there as well. And there are quality flours out there, I do believe, but the general sort of flours we're getting are rubbish. So, okay, you look at the ingredient list. To be honest, if you pick up a meal, pick up a sauce, pick up whatever you want to pick up, just turn over and start reading the ingredients. The ingredients, where is this coming from, is by far the single most important thing you can actually get to.
And maybe to give you some more detail, Jamie, on how you actually look at the ingredients on the label, something really interesting is that when you look at the ingredient list, it is always listed in descending order. So in other words, the very first thing that you see on that list is what's in the highest amount in that food, and the very last thing is what's in the smallest amount. So if we look at, for example, the gap, here we've got the ingredients goes water, apple, pear, banana. So that's the order of how much we're having here. We have mostly water, then apple, then pear, and the last thing on this list is lemon juice. So there's only a little bit of lemon juice. That's a really nice tip if we're talking about this whole no sugar challenge.
It is.
When you pick up any food label, if you look at that and see sugar within the first 3 ingredients, or the first 5 ingredients, you're going to know there's a lot of sugar in that product. Whereas maybe if you don't see it at all, ideally, or right towards the end, there'll be less sugar in it.
Yeah.
So that's a really nice tip. Read the food label, always listed in descending order. The first food that's on there is in the highest amount in that product, and then the last would be the smallest amount.
Great, perfect. I think that's it. And also, don't believe the messages on the front. I mean, okay, I seriously disagree with labeling regulations, because I can say on the front here, I can actually say, I've got products, and I won't show them now on this chapter, we've got a whole radio show about them, where it actually physically says on the front, no preservatives, no added sugar, and high in vitamin E and high in vitamin D or whatever A, and you turn it over, and there's 2 preservatives, there's a stabilizer, there's flavoring and sugar, and yet it says 100% juice on the front, for instance. So you can go, I mean, on a simple product like a juice, where in a very sort of well-known chain, it will say 100% juice on the front there. As a consumer, that means to me it's 100% juice, but it has got sugar, flavoring, colorant, 2 supposedly sort of like non-dangerous, I would say, but they are added anyway. They are chemically refined vitamins in there. plus actually sort of thickness. And I mean, like, you do not trust what it says on the front of the label. Like, take the time to go and read on the back. I mean, we've seen, okay, so FitChef is strictly a sort of no preservative added brand, no chemical, no artificial things. It has to come from nature. Can be mechanically refined as in ground or something like that there, but it can't be chemically sort of changed. And what you'll find is actually sort of like loads of others. You'll actually see, like, there's a competitor that's fairly new in the country where it actually does say, no preservatives added, no this added, no sugar added, no this added, and you turn it over, and there are so many added sugars because in the ingredients they bought a sauce and they added the sauce to that meal, and that sauce had like 3 sugars in it. That sauce had preservatives, had other junk in there. So take the time, read ingredients. It's absolutely crucial. Where is your nutrition coming from? And the only way you can see that is your ingredients. After that, there you can look at your macros, understand what proteins you've got there, what carbs you've got there, and there will be sugars in almost every single thing, apart from if you're getting just pure meat, there is going to be sort of sugars. Remember also, one thing with carbs, we often on sort of things like keto nowadays, you talk about net carbs, because actually you've got your carbs. Let's say your carbs are 20 grams in the meal, but then you've got fiber. Now fiber is insoluble and soluble fiber. You don't really absorb fiber. It just specifically helps your gut bacteria, and your gut bacteria health is absolutely crucial. But what you do is, let's say there's 7 grams of fiber and 20 grams of carbs. You would refer to that as 13 grams of net carbs or impact carbs sometimes like that. That's an interesting way of looking at it as well, is having that ratio in your mind of like, I'm getting a lot of fiber, and like the fiber is so crucial. And you're only going to get fiber from real ingredients. I mean, like in white flours and refined foods, there is almost nothing.
Well, talking about labels and fiber, here's another nice tip you can look at. When you're looking at a label, you can see if something's high fiber simply by this. You look at the per 100 gram column, and under per 100 gram, next to fiber, you'll see a value. If that value is more than 6 grams of fiber per 100 gram, we can define that as a higher fiber product. So that's a nice little tip if ever you're looking at anything off the shelves.
Like really awesome, yeah, perfect. I think, and fiber is crucial. I think more and more.
Gut health is very trendy at the moment.
Yeah, there's I think sort of almost no one who denies anymore that gut health is absolutely crucial.
Absolutely. They're calling the gut the second brain because of the link between the brain and the gut, what we call a gut-brain axis, and how they are so interlinked. And if your gut's not healthy, you're not healthy at the end of the day. 60% of our immune system is in the gut. So
totally. Serotonin levels.
Exactly. The gut makes serotonin, the feel-good hormone.
Feel-good hormones. I mean, like, gut is crucial. I mean, like, on many of my talks when I go out, I always say, the number one route to happiness, or the foundation level of happiness. If you want to be happy, just generally in your body, like, get your stomach happy. Absolutely. Once your stomach is happy, it just like sorts out your body. You know, when you're feeling bloated and sore and everything and inflamed, so is the rest of your body. And there's a lot of evidence nowadays that if your gut's inflamed, so is your brain. And I mean, that just doesn't help you. It just does not help you. Erin, some good questions from you again. And Gavin, welcome again. Gavin, you know exactly where we are, so click on that link, 21day.co.za, and you can get all the information about the challenge. Coffee. Look, I'm a fan of coffee.
Likewise.
And I think black, I would, just as a personal thing, and I mean, not for everyone, I realize, I would go for black coffees. Try and limit your milk in this year. I think one of those things to do is when you're having a cleanse, for me, given that probably 2/3 of the world, roughly, and in some cultures 100%, are allergic or sensitive to lactose and dairy intolerances. So what you've got to do is, I think I'm always keen on sort of dropping back on those milks initially. Give yourself a break. I mean, this is basically an eating holiday, just to reset your body, come back to that homeostasis, that balance, and then sort of start adding things back in and thinking, does it hurt my stomach? Does it not? Coffee, I love coffee. I do think you can overdo coffee. One thing was sort of on a DNA test, you can find out once again if you're genetically predisposed to being caffeine sensitive. Not everyone actually is. I do think that coffee is awesome. I do think green teas are great as well. So maybe sort of as part of the challenge, if you find you are doing too many coffees, because it can sort of like set off your anxiety sometimes as well, depending.
And also my thing with coffee when I'm working with patients is it's about how much are you having. If you're having 1 or 2 cups a day, really does it matter. But if you're having 10 cups a day and that's in place of eating, and that's why you have a massive meal in the evening because you haven't eaten all day, maybe that's another way to look at it.
Totally.
Or if maybe it displaces water, so every time you should be grabbing a glass of water, grabbing a cup of coffee, and you're actually dehydrating yourself and doing further.
Totally, I think that's crucial.
Yeah, put it in context of what you're doing for the day.
You want those 8 glasses of water. It seems like that 8 glasses of water, rough, that rule of thumb really per day.
You know what, you can even be a bit more specific, is about 1 glass of water per 10 kilos that you weigh. So a 60 kilo lady, do 6 glasses, but a guy who weighs 90 kilos, maybe about 9.
Yeah.
And more is needed if you're training.
Totally.
I think that's also important, depending on the heat and how much you're training, take some extra with you.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And once again, I think coming down to quality, I'm a bit of a coffee snob, so I kind of believe that your instant coffees are just not as good. I think there's a lot of very, very refined instant coffees. There are some good ones out there. My preference, and this is just really personally my preference, is like to go for an espresso-based coffee. Go for a proper espresso-based coffee that's just a bit more clean. I find I'm sensitive, so I find my nose dries and my throat hurts, and I get more acidity from instant coffees. That is just me potentially as well, but if it is you, then maybe just as a little side note there.
And as I was saying, you can test for sensitivities genetically. There's a gene called the CYP1A2 gene,
yes,
and that can tell us if we are sensitive to caffeine or if we aren't. So that's a nice add-on if you're doing one of these DNA tests.
Okay, cool. Do you need to exercise on this challenge, Jen Johnson? I think exercise is really good for everyone.
Sure.
I think yes. I would say yes
too.
Yeah.
You know, so much of this is, as Wayne introduced it, is about kind of resetting your habits and being in the right mental space. So while you are pushing yourself into the mental space, absolutely exercise.
Yeah.
I find that when I'm working with patients, exercise, for some it helps them lose weight, and again, this is genetic determinant.
Totally.
But for others, even if it doesn't, I don't always find exercise helps me lose weight, but I feel so much better when I'm training. I'm training now for a half marathon, I'm sleeping better than ever before.
Your sleep.
And there's so much more to exercise than just the weight side of things.
And I think sort of a very big point is when we talk about health, people sort of very often think, it's just about food.
No, it's a puzzle.
Food is crucial, but it's just one of the pieces of one of the legs, and so it's exercise. Exercise dramatically helps your gut bacteria. Actually, exercising dramatically improves gut bacteria. It just seems to be the jiggling and everything out there. Same as intermittent fasting and things like that. But it is about, there's breathing, there's sleeping, there's water quality, there's air quality,
and
there's stress management.
Yes. I was saying the same thing. In this day and age, we're all just getting back to work at the moment, but stress management, what it does for you just to feel so much better, not kill your boss, it's not the worst thing in the world.
And look here, dieting really, for most of us, comes down to hey, I don't want to look like a blimp, and I want to feel a bit more sexy in my body. But actually, to be honest, most people start dieting for, let me lose some weight, but they carry on with the diet and for exercise.
They realize how good they feel once they've lost the weight.
It's the good, you just feel good. It resets your brain. It pulls you back out of life. One of the biggest things in life is sort of pulling away from your problems and just resetting your mind. Exercise does those things. I think exercise is a crucial thing. It doesn't have to be too hectic either. I think I've been a bit extreme in my life. I've pushed it for everything like the Cape Epics and the Ironman, and as huge cycles.
It can be as simple as a walk every day after coming home from work. A nice brisk walk.
Walking is so good. Those 10,000 steps. Sometimes I think it's a little bit low sometimes, but if you do that every single day, 10,000, 12,000 steps is actually awesome. Go for a sort of 20-minute brisk walk, take it up to a 40-minute brisk walk. You just feel really good. It's awesome. Yeah. Jamie, just so with Discovery, we're having some conversations. There's been a lot of conversations going on. Hopefully we'll have some good news this year. It's Discovery dependent. Fairly fussy with who they work with there, but I do believe we've got the best products in the market, and hopefully some good news soon. But there's some very, very good news about a few other partners as well. Jen, you've seen our 21, our Dischem freezers, so the FitChef freezers in all Dischems. You can't buy a 21-day challenge in a Dischem. So you're speaking about the specifics of buying a 21-day challenge kit. And we've got various options on there. The top kit, which is our best results kit, comes with your 54 meals and your 42 smoothies. Everything comes along. There's a lot of variation, some really awesome food. It's all 100% clean, really awesome meals. that gives you everything you need. Because I mean, most of the reason we actually fall off the wagon when we start dieting and planning a long-term sort of food strategy or a nutrition strategy is you run out of time. Life happens. What happens is you revert back to whatever the simplest. So you end up with bread, and you go for the rubbish bread, and you go for the sort of like rubbish added sweet things, and then you go and grab something sort of on, you're running to a meeting and you're feeling like your energy's dipped super low.
Grab a muffin.
And you think, oh, it's just one muffin, but I tell you what, it keeps on sort of it repeats, and it's this.
And it does, because it gets you into that negative cycle. So it's just one muffin, but then it spikes your blood sugar, and then it drops it again, and you're feeling completely lethargic. So you need another muffin to make you feel even better again. You just get yourself on this roller coaster of blood sugar levels.
Cool, yeah. Jen, again, we've got loads of new meals launching. We've got a keto range. We've got an incredible plant-based range, a very high protein plant-based range.
Plant-based meals.
We're redoing a whole vegetarian vegan range. We've got a lot of new meals coming through as well. Meat meals, comfort meals. There's a lot happening, put it that way. We've got some awesome products. A lot of third-party products where sort of you want to build your own smoothies, and you want to add different proteins or more fiber. If you want to get more collagen into your diet, or just recovering and those kind of things, improve your recovering. There are some products coming through as well. So we've got some pretty cool things coming through. A couple more things. A lot of new services. So an exciting year. But guys, so for those of you who want to sort of sign up for the challenge, okay. So basically, we've given you 3 dates. Today is the date. So you can start today. Just start and get good food. We've got the free version. If you go to 21day.co.za, 21day.co.za, you'll see there are 3 start dates. One is today, next week Monday, and the following Monday. So the 13th, the 20th, and 27th. You can start whenever you want to. I mean, really, this is just about having a start date. Mondays tend to be a sort of an easier day for most people.
Everyone's super motivated come the weekend.
But just literally get started. There's also a couple of sort of versions available for you as well. So the package 1 is just sign up for a free meal plan, daily tips, motivation, and challenge your friends. And I think this is just a great way to start. Having these, drawing a line in the sand and saying, I'm going to be healthy, I'm going to change something, I'm going to sort of live more consciously. Because what actually is about? It's about making more conscious decisions on every single level. I'm going to be more conscious in what I drink. So drink more water. And like filtered water in that there as well, because you don't want to be drinking all the rubbish in our pipes. You want to drink more nutritious food. So sort of either you make your own food and you're going to sort of answer the question for yourself, do you have time to cook? If you haven't got time to cook, then get a service like Fit Chef. Or if you've got some time to cook and some time to actually buy, get a mixture of our stuff. So we've got a cool package. Package number 2 is our smart cooking course. So for $75, you're getting a really awesome course, taking you through, there's a full-on shopping list in there, so a big shopping list. It's all available online, so you get your shopping list, you get your meal plan for 21 days, and then on the first Monday and Tuesday evenings, you just do these 2 nights of cooking, or you can do them on one weekend if you want to, or one day, or one sitting, or even divide it up more than that there. But it takes you through a whole, like a really simplified way of doing awesome whole food so that it tastes great. Because people think, vegetables and these things are so boring. They're not.
But you know what, Wayne, I honestly think working with people and patients in my practice, one of the things that people do not know how to do is cook. And it bedazzles my mind that no one has cooking skills. So I think this is fantastic. I think also added to what we said earlier, a lot of reason why diets and dieting fails is because we don't have the skills and the tools in order to make it work for us. So doing something like a cooking course really institutes some nice skills that you can learn, and you'll have a whole new arsenal of tools at your disposal to make you do this for a much longer period in time.
Totally.
I love the idea of the cooking.
It's basically a toolkit. Like you've got to sort of arm yourself with these toolkits, and these toolkits are like sort of just having knowledge for one. Let me just make a rule. From now on, I'll eat more real food. Okay. Don't have the junk at home. One of the things there's a policy I've got called like the no or the junk-free home zone. If you turn your house into a place that is
just don't have it available.
Just don't have junk available.
No,
don't buy biscuits. Don't buy junk. Don't buy sort of like refined rubbish. Just get like really, really good food there. So have your fruits, have your nuts, get your biltongs, get lots of veggies, and then like when you cook brown rice or cook sort of like whole food versions of things. Cook too much freeze them and just keep things in the freezer.
You can
It's
freeze
simple.
so many foods. I do
Literally.
it all the time. Cook in bulk, cook once, eat 4 times out of that same meal.
Anything roasted you can cook. If you've reduced the water content in there, you can actually sort of freeze it and then reuse it. So just like sort of be clever. And I think the smart cooking course is all about that, being strategic and clever, being conscious about your cooking and saying, like food actually really is this important. And I think food really is this important. It is one of those sort of big chunks of what you must get right. And once you get that right, other things come right. It's just such a good thing. So get the smart cooking course online. As I say, it's got it's got your shopping list. It's got your meal plan on sort of how you eat in certain days. I've also introduced some intermittent fasting there as well. So for those of you who think, intermittent fasting, I can't fast, think of it as what I call window eating as well. On certain days, I try to introduce you to where you only eat from, say, midday until 8 at night. So you have all your food within an 8-hour window. There's 4 days a week that I've said that as a suggestion. You don't have to do that, but 4 days a week you eat from sort of midday to 8 at night, and you give your body some time to just process the food, to eliminate, and then reset. And the next day, and it's actually no change in what you're sort of really doing in your regime, apart from grouping where your food actually is. So that's intermittent fasting in a way. It just really changes the way you look at food. It changes your planning. It also improves your focus. Well, I find specifically improves focus, clarity, energy. I train sort of on those mornings as well. But once again, it may not be for everyone. Find out. But what I would try, it's very personalized, but maybe sort of as one of the tools, like try the intermittent fasting or the window eating. Just group your foods together in a certain window of time and give your body time to recover, process, digest, and eliminate properly without carrying on feeding yourself all the time and feeling bloated. It just has an awesome effect. We've got a couple more packages 3 and 4, where you can go along and you can get any of our packages. We've got 25% off our DNA packages there as well. So if you really want to find out and really optimize and strategize and understand your body, find that missing manual as to sort of what you should be eating, doing, how your body works, your genetic makeup of sort of what your rules are of your body really. So that's package 3. And package 4, we've got a 1-month challenge where you can get your 1 month challenge where you get like food for 1 month, 72 meals, I think 54 smoothies or so, and everything you need just to get going. You just basically get like a couple of boxes of all the food frozen delivered to your house. You clear out all the junk and the ice cream and the December rubbish out of your freezer. You stock up the good food and you just get going. And when you've got good food, you would eat good food. If you had good food, you would eat it. It's simple as that. That's how life works. Okay, so Jamie, potatoes.
This is always contentious.
It's contentious, yeah.
How are you eating that potato? Is it a deep fried chip that you are having with a burger, or are you taking 3 or 4 little baby potatoes, roasting them with the skin on with a little bit of olive oil, and that's that? So quantity over also how you're preparing it.
Totally. And I also think that there's a crucial thing. Once again, if you are carb sensitive, if you are pre-diabetic, limit those potatoes or eliminate them until you actually portion control once again. Also, and I think one of the problems we've got in our society is that we think about what is our staple diet. To me, and this is my personal point of view, is that we've said, what is your staple diet? Well, if you're from this country, your staple diet is rice. And that country, your staple diet is potatoes. You shouldn't really have a staple diet, I don't think, because this is where the problems are coming in. If your staple diet is bread or anything white in those areas, apart from cauliflower, all those white, high carbohydrate things, this is where the problem is coming in, because you're actually getting too much of the carbs and the refined carbs without the vitamins, minerals, and the flavonoids and fiber and all those things in there. So, to me, potatoes, I'm really happy with them. I've seen people sort of be on incredible diets with potatoes.
Absolutely.
I personally I don't believe in the whole thing that sweet potatoes are better than normal potatoes. I'm not sure where you come in on that.
From a nutrition point of view, they got a bit more vitamin A, but from a calorie point of view, you're getting much of a muchness there. But it's about portions. So about 3 baby potatoes is the same as eating a 90-gram sweet potato.
Yeah.
But I think with these things also what's nice is to know to leave the skin on. We go and we peel them and we take a lot of the nutrients which is often found in the skin and just leave that on.
Yeah, get that fiber in there. It's really good sort of soluble fiber. You need soluble fiber. It's just super important. But yeah, so once again, I think just always sort of see where you are. Ask the question am I losing weight? Am I feeling good? Is it affecting my mood? Am I having mood swings? Am I feeling low in energy or high in anxiety? And just tweak it down. Remember, I think one of the things is always improve the quality of your food. And certainly, if there's higher carb foods, you generally got lower nutrients sometimes, generally.
Well, one of the things I advise patients to do is a lot of the time these kind of things feel very big and they feel like you have to make massive changes. Do it incrementally. Why don't you first start with changing the quality of your diet before you change the quantity? So swap all your white rice for brown rice. Swap all your potato crisps for a nice sweet potato, for example. So do that first, and then drop down the quantity if you're looking at losing some weight.
Correct.
Maybe do it a bit more incrementally, and it might be easier then to all at once, changing what you're eating, how much you're eating, and it's actually just a bit overwhelming.
Don't scare yourself away. I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
Good
Take
food
it
is actually this important. Like it affects every other area of your life. I mean, I listened to a really good international entrepreneur yesterday, and he was like, my 4 pillars of life. One of them is get your personal life right. Well, actually, it was first food. If you're not eating well, if you're not healthy, then you are running behind everyone else. You are not as sharp. You are not as you haven't got the clarity.
It makes you more resilient. It makes the body more resilient to stress, to illness, to disease.
Totally.
It really makes a big difference.
I mean, this life coach was saying, well, he's also a life coach. He was saying literally when he deals with groups, company groups, and he goes in there and he'll be like, you've got to sort out your if you want to perform at high levels in a stressful marketplace there, you have got to have the right food, the right energy. So it's the right kind of energy. You can't afford to have these dips every single day where you're up and down and you're all over the place. Just like, get it right. So food, personal relationships, time, health are absolutely crucial. Yeah. I think, okay, so just a question from Natasha. You need some help. You came across our 21-day challenge and you looked at the meal plans, but you're not allowed any carbs, not even potatoes, and the meal plans all have carbs. So look, I mean, there's only one way to achieve a zero carb diet, and that is what's called carnivore. You're going to have to eat pure meat. Which
it's very difficult to eat no carbs, Natasha. Maybe as a suggestion, take whoever told you not to have carbs, take the meal plans to them and let them help you to adjust it and chat. But my personal opinion is that we do need some carbs. Carbs is where we get fiber, and if we don't have any carbs whatsoever, it means you're getting no fiber whatsoever.
Yeah.
And we've already alluded to the health benefits of fiber as we started chatting. So remember also there's a difference between a no carb meal plan and a low carb meal plan. And what we've got at FitChef is lower carb meals because it still does add value in terms of the fiber.
Lower, high quality carb.
Quality.
I try and stress out, I'm actually trying to bring through the word quality and everything basically is like, I can give you low carb meals that are still rubbish, but I can give you like low carb, high fiber, high nutrient density, and that's basically. So obviously, Natasha, like we don't know your personal circumstances there.
Exactly.
And
so I think take it to someone.
Take someone and have a chat about there. There are diets that work for people, and there are people who need certain diets. Not going to rule that out there, but just I think confirm the strategy and confirm the details behind this year.
And the reasoning behind
the
reasoning that you need to consider that we don't know the background to.
And you've got to see how you react to things. If it doesn't sort of suit you in the long run, then that's basically not going to work for you. You will you'll fall off the wagon every other day, and find something that is sustainable. What else we got? So I think just as far as I think people very often ask questions about things like, are they allowed Provitas and other biscuits? I try and stay off them, guys. I think sort of if you want to go a bit stricter and sort of limit your carbs, up your consciousness and your mindful thinking, just sort of read every single label. They have got added. If you look at these Provitas and whatever else, there's added syrups in there and sugars, some refined ingredients. But it depends on where you actually are. Just bring your carb level down, bring your sort of fiber level up, eat more nutrients, a lot more green veg, a lot more veg in general. Just go for high quality food as close to nature.
Well, there was a question earlier, if you're cutting out the bread, what do you replace it with? And I think my response would be, what are you eating the bread for? So if you're having lots of bread, just quick and easy white toast at breakfast, maybe at breakfast you'd replace the bread with some nice oats, for example. Or if you're having bread as a quick grab and go snack, in the middle of the day, maybe replace it then with a fruit or some finger veggies, for example. So see why you're having the bread, and then find a suitable alternative for that reason.
Yeah, that's it. And remember, if you're battling, there probably is one good food available as a sort of quick sort of just grab and go, and that's avos. If you're really battling, get some avos, get some biltong. I wouldn't live on those things only. Don't make those your staple diet. We're looking for diversity of diet here as well. But if you are battling and you haven't managed to prepare for a day, either order Fit Chef and make sure you've got the food, or you've cooked in advance with our smart cooking course, or just jump in and actually grab it. Only go to the actual cool fridge aisles and get some good food from there, basically.
Nice healthy fats.
Nice healthy fats, good quality stuff. I think that's kind of it. I think if we've got any more questions, check on www.21day.co.za. As I said, there's 4 packages. There's 3 start dates. So this Monday, the following Monday, and the next one after that there. Or start whenever you want to. I mean, it's just up to you. What can you expect? I think very often when you change your diet, especially when you've come off a sort of gluttonous December, or you've had tons of carbs, you will find that your hunger is quite high.
It might be the case.
It might be the case. So usually what we find is, and we've run this a number of times now, we've had up to 120,000 people at a time running them with us. So we've had lots of comments. So I would say within your first 3 days, you can expect certain amounts of hunger and some control. You've got more than enough nutrition in your body to carry you through this year. Then obviously sort of by day 3, you should feel a nice light stomach. People describe it as just feeling light. And it really is about your stomach. Usually I've seen the latest, it's taken someone so far, was about 7 days to start feeling really good and full. And the more fiber and the more whole food you eat, the fuller you feel for longer. So you're going to feel full. So by day, from day 3 to day 7, things get far easier. And then just control your diet like that. So expect that first few days there will be some hunger. There will be some adjustments.
How bad your diet was to begin with.
Really does
if you were
depend.
living off sugar and nothing good otherwise, it might hit you quite quickly.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest mistakes we make in our diet is whenever we feel low, we actually live on. We actually eat for energy. Eating for energy on the spot, unless you're actually doing an actual race or you're doing an Ironman, really isn't great. We should have actually planned to have sustainable energy. And unfortunately, that means you should have eaten 6-8 hours ago or 2-3 days ago. It's that kind of food that's affecting you. So I think it's that sustainable thing there. Don't grab soft drinks for energy. If you're feeling low, you don't need a soft drink because it's going to make you're in the cycle of addiction. What you want to find is a better way, and it's going to take your body. Okay, so it'll take you 3 days to feel good in the stomach, probably sort of a week to feel really, really sort of like energized and good. You can make great changes to your diet and your life and your weight, and as you've seen previously with our previous tests, your blood samples, all the sort of blood results came back really awesome, even after 21 days. But you really do you are the average of your eating for the last 6 months to 12 months. And when you look at sort of the advanced American gut studies now, they're saying that really your gut is probably the average of the last year of eating. The amount of species of gut bacteria you've got in there. Some guys have got very, very low amounts of gut species and diversity, and it can take up to a year to repopulate your gut and get past antibiotics and get past bad eating and just rebalance the actual fiber and the sugar in your body. So that's basically it. You are what you eat. It's more about what you ate over the last year than just about a small little diet. Find something sustainable, but do get started. And sometimes sort of a good start is something like a 21-day no bread, no sugar challenge. Put a line in the sand, get going, make the change. It's really worth it. You will look back at yourself in 3-4 months' time and think, thank goodness I did that. Welcome, guys. Sign up on 21day.co.za or at Fit Chef. Cheers.
Bye.